let's see here. We got some really neat stuff going on when it comes to our player spotlight. Pretty neat stuff.
A bomb getting ready to go off here.
Yeah, I know. Something new. I mean, we're not funded very well for this show, so it's what we could come up with. But I'll tell you, I give Dan a lot of credit because she had to upload these slides for like each second, I think it was, and she had to do this over and over again and then put it all together. So
are you serious?
This 5 minutes is not like you would think you just get an app or something and then just throw it on there. I mean, it takes a lot more work. So what I try to tell people too all the time with this thing is how much work actually goes into this, It's a challenge, man.
You got to bust your ass, I'll say that. Me, on the other hand, I just kind of sit back and relax. And
you have been putting in your own time when it comes to player spotlight. So I appreciate you taking that time because it's outside of this show since we went to the pre-recorded, and I think it's just really cool that you're doing that. So
we're going to do I think based on looking at the calendar, I think we're going to do our next show on the 6th, which is a Wednesday. It's 2 days before the West Palm Beach tournament. And
all right.
I got somebody lined up for that show already, and should be pretty cool. Little interview. So
nice. So a little teaser, right?
Yeah. I don't think I told you about it yet, but
good. Yeah. You can tell me later. It's cool.
Yeah. Well, here's the deal. You like to keep things from me sometimes, so I got to keep this from you.
Well, just don't keep your booty clapping dance that you said that you were willing to do when I put the song on that I like.
Hey man, that's between me and you, man. Come on.
Well, it is going to be between me and you.
We gonna have a dance
when you perform that dance, it will be between me and you. That's the plan.
Wouldn't that be something? We lose all the viewers, man. Me and you start having to dance off here.
I don't know. I think let's see here. What do we got? All right, so Deanna is sending that to me. I think she might have just sent that to you, Joe. So let's see here.
Text? Email?
Yeah, I think it is a text. It's a text. So I'm going to download this, and then I'm going to, all right, let's see here. Throw it on there. Drop it.
What's up, Brandon?
Brandon, there he is. Let's see.
Yeah, we were going to try to get Brandon on this week's show, but just our schedules couldn't match up, and we're going to make sure that we get him, get a nice recorded interview with him leading up to his tournament next, I guess his tournament is the 8th and 9th, which is a Friday, Saturday. So the 6th, we'll have an episode air that week that we can talk to him.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. I wanted to try to make that. I got it, Deanna. Thank you. I wanted to try to make that happen, but scheduling being what it is, we're gonna make it happen next week.
Come on, Aviana, are you kidding me?
I like that.
That golf was pretty.
She knows
it was pretty, just like my dance moves.
All right. Well, I'm gonna at some point at one of these tournaments, I'm gonna get you to do that dance, and then for the sake of the show, we'll record it.
You better make sure I got about a fifth of bourbon in me.
It won't even take that.
Okay.
You're being modest. Let's see here. All right. So we got our little timer. Got 1 minute. What's going on, man? Ooh, thank you very much for that. Let's see here. All right. Hopefully, Joe got 50 seconds. Pretty nice. Hey, guys, want to thank you guys for joining us. Let's see. Who do we got? J.G. Rouse on there. Thank you for tuning in. Brandon, we talked about. Tom, what's going on, Tom? Look at that trophy and that medal. Yeah, I like my trophy a lot. It's in my office, man. I don't have a ton of things in my office, but I have that one along with a few of the really neat awards. You got a little shrine, Joe?
Do I have what? Sorry, man. I'm trying to type something here.
You're good. Like a little shrine, like your trophies, maybe cool certificates, stuff like that you've gotten over the years or something. You have a little place that you put all that?
Yeah, I keep it in a very nice plastic tote in my garage.
Yeah. kind of figured. I kind of figured. But when you have that fifth of bourbon, you go and you open it up and reminisce. I know.
I cried and everything else.
I cried and everything else. All right, our fancy timer went down, so it's about time. Mark Jackson, what's up, fellas? Just boarded a plane in SoCal, listening until I lose coverage. Appreciate you tuning in, brother. SoCal, you going up there to play ball or to hit the golf balls? What do you got? Lau Reyes, hello from Ohio. We were going to go to a tournament up there, and they have the museum of, I think it's like flying stuff. I don't know exactly what. I think it's aviation.
That's where the Wright brothers are from.
Yeah,
the Aviation Museum.
There you go. That's what makes sense. So that
I may be wrong, but I may be right.
Yep.
That's a song, I believe. I'm not quite sure. But
Stu, we just talked about you, man. Joe was eating a quick quesadilla, and I told him about Papacitos. And when you came down to visit, I took you over there, and so I told him I think it'd be a good place for him.
Stu gets all the good treatment, man.
Yep.
Well deserved.
Biscuit. All right, Biscuit. So Biscuit's joining us. And
speaking of well deserved, Big Andy Sides of the Missouri Lawmen just got promoted today to major. That's a pretty big news.
All right, man. Very cool. He's a big guy.
He's a huge guy.
He's huge, but has a huge heart too. Responsible for reaching out to a contact of his. Once we had our Shields for Kids fundraiser over at the tournament, at our Keepers of the Peace tournament, and was able to get us a monetary donation, man. And that was just such a touching thing for him to do. So
yeah,
shout out to Andy, and congratulations on your promotion, brother. Yeah. All right. Let's see what we got real quick before we go live. We got JT. What's up, guys? See you guys in Florida. And Stu says the wife and I were just talking about Papas and need one in Cali. It's true. That's that Papacitos, man. I'm telling you, if you come to San Antonio or anywhere near it, you're going to want to go to Papacitos or Papados.
What's the seafood one?
Papados.
Papados. I've been there.
Yeah.
Hey, do you see the private chat on the side? Do you get to see that?
Yeah, I got you, man. And yes, we are.
Okay, I was just making sure because it was the reverse order. I was making sure.
Yep.
I was under the impression that's the way it was going. So.
Yep. That is the way it's going. All right, man. Well, hey, let's do it. Thank you guys for joining us. This is the Police Softball Podcast, and I believe it is episode 42. Let's roll it. Partner in crime, Joe, joining me again. We got another special guest. Don't forget, man, I got your 6. All right, there we go. So thank you for joining us. It is March 23rd. What are we in, Joe? 2022?
Let me look at my calendar here. Yep, 2022.
There you go. Episode 42 of the Police Softball Podcast. Thank you guys for joining us. Appreciate it. And as a reminder, this is a therapy for us in police softball, to be able to join tonight and to be able to, it's a beautiful sunset outside. Joe's joining us, in between his duties. He's able to take his time off and to be able to join us here. So I appreciate you joining me again, Joe. And thank you guys for joining us.
I want to thank you for joining me today.
Yes.
You make me, smile. You're a good person, and it's nice to be side by side with you on the screen.
Thank you very much, Joe. I sincerely appreciate that. And you know what you mean to me, so we can shed a tear after the show and maybe give a virtual hug after the show.
After the dance off?
Yeah, after the dance off, which I don't know. Joe's talking about his ability to booty clap, so we'll see how that goes. But I want to be able to say hello to everybody out here. We got Mark Jackson, who stated he conducted security audit at Chuckwalla Valley State Prison in beautiful Blythe, California. Hung out with Big Buck from the Quake. I wish I was playing golf. I know. Lyle said that Joe, my son, said they are dating. We are on a college visit.
Very nice.
Yeah. And Justin Michael, he's with our department, and he's the coach of our flag football team that won the Keepers of the Peace National Softball Championship. So thanks for joining us, Justin. Hey, tell you what, we got a Oh, flag football. Yeah, it's flag football. That's what it is. But thank you guys for joining us again, episode 42. Tell you what, Joe, we're going to jump right in it because we got a lot of great stuff. We got a little bit of some health, got a little health kind of overview to begin with. We got a little thing that we did for a young man with a big heart that was in a hospital. It's Thomas Eldridge, who was on just a second ago. We got our Canadian connection, got a cool little thing that if you guys know Tyler Wilson, most of you do. Tyler gets to play he gets to help out a lot of teams and comes into the States to help a lot of guys out. Well, his girls, Olivia and Caitlin, there's something special. And I'm sure most of you on the circuit, if you don't know about them, you're going to, and they're awesome. Got tournament recaps, Joe, of the Brian Aselton Memorial Tournament in Tampa. Got the DEA Kickoff recap. A Gary Gryder Memorial Tournament that took place in Houston that I attended. It's a military fire EMS police tournament that took place. Got a little recap because there were some PS.com teams that attended. Let's see here. We've got the Miken bat, a new Miken bat that's come out that we got Biscuit that was able to join Joe and was very appreciative. Got you, Deanna, coming on. Joe was able to meet with Biscuit. We're able to highlight this really cool bat that Miken just put out. So it's a neat offer that they have. We're going to go over that. Got the tournament previews of the St. Louis Show Me Classic. I know he's got a lot of guys. Joe's got a lot of guys that have signed up for that. The Trini, it says Trini. It's our Keepers of the Peace National Softball Championships. We're going to bring you up to date with what's going on there. Hotel rooms, things of that sort. With a few videos from both Joe's tournament with the St. Louis Show Me Classic and then our tournament with the Keepers of the Peace National Softball Championships. We got a player spotlight. Chris Ellison, a new member of the Missouri Lawmen that previously played with Oklahoma. That was a great conversation. I was really happy to be able to do that. So that's what's on the program for today. Again, thank you guys for joining us. Joe, let me ask you this question. Hey, look at that. Mario Foster. What's going on, brother?
Busy episode here, Trini.
Yeah, man, it is. Mario, big shout out. Sitting here in Washington, D.C. I'm going to make that trip happen, by the way, Mario. Got quite a few trips lined up, and that's going to be one of them. Let's see. So, Joe, you ever get a pain that starts in your belly button area across like maybe your abdomen, and then it kind of moves down and maybe to the right a little bit? You might be experiencing an appendicitis. And that's what happened to me not too long ago. So I know that I had quite a few people ask me. I know I wondered what was going on with that. So just a little bit of a health tip. If you feel that, you might go to that doctor. I know a lot of us are a little hard-headed. So, but just to kind of give you an idea, if you check this out, this is a picture of where your appendix is. So there's your large intestines, and it's right there at the bottom. It's that little bitty thing that I learned is not much use for us as we get older. It's really just as a young kid that this comes into play. But that thing can start to cause you problems. And if you do that, you need to go get it checked out. I did. I was very fortunate that it did not get to the point where if it explodes or ruptures, you're going to have big problems. And people have died. It was in the past more so that people died. Nowadays, if you go in there early enough and all, they said it's very rarely happens. And even if it does explode, or I say explode, it sounds so dramatic. If it ruptures, it still can cause you serious problems. And you're capable of it, but they say it doesn't happen that often. So I was able to visit the hospital. I was able to wear a shirt that was given to me by the Connecticut Lawmen. That was pretty cool. I thought about that. Went in there, ended up having my appendix removed. And Joe, are you ready for this? I know you just ate your quesadilla, but this is
what it looks like.
Taken out.
Very nice.
Yeah. Well.
And is it true that you actually brought that home and cooked that up, or no?
I mixed it in with some fajitas and some rice, and so you couldn't tell. I didn't want it to go to waste. I figured if there was any kind of nutritional value left in it, I could take it in. But then I found out what the appendix actually does. And I left it out of that equation. So just a little bit of deal, man. You get a pain, starts in your belly button area, moves over to your lower right. You might want to go get that checked out. On the subject matter of Thomas Eldridge and the Connecticut Lawmen, he had his 5-year-old grandson, Leo, who was in the children's hospital. He had a situation where he ended up having some bleeding due to a health issue. I won't get into it, but they were looking at the time at removing 80% of his large intestines. And so when you look back at that photo that I showed, when you're talking about the appendix, I mean, that's a considerable move, for that large intestine, 80% of that. So end result was, we found out that he was in the hospital, and a part of Shields for Kids effort to help Leo out with his doctor stay, we sent him a cool little dinosaur pack. We found out that that's what he enjoyed. And it was just something that was pretty neat. Nothing too crazy as far as price, obviously, but it was just a neat thing that we can do from Shields for Kids due to y'all's support when you come to our tournament, or support Shields for Kids. So if you get the opportunity and you go on Facebook, you look up Shields for Kids, I think it's a really neat thing. It's a little example of what we did, but I like to try to help within the circuit. So if you guys have a situation where a child's involved in something, let us know, man. Send us an email, get a hold of Deanna or myself, and give us the opportunity to be able to do something for children. We typically help children in our community, but hey, man, this is a law enforcement softball community, so we're willing to help. So I'm happy that Leo is doing better. He's out of the hospital. And so just a little cool thing to bring up. Now, Joe, have you had Tyler come and help you out yet? Tyler Wilson with your team? Has he come down and played with y'all's team yet?
He has not, no.
No. So, and he would be willing to. He loves supporting us. He loves coming down, and he loves our community up from Canada. Well, he has a couple of little girls that are named Olivia and Caitlin, and they're always sending birthday shout outs. So if you are within that circle and Tyler knows you, his little girls are always willing to send you some sort of a message. They did it when I was in the hospital, birthdays and all. Check this out, dude. So we went to Disney. I thought about them when we were in there. My wife and I saw this booth. We stopped and we got them a couple of gifts, but check out this little video that they sent me opening their gifts. It's just really neat.
Thank you, the Trini. Okay. Here's the card.
Wow, you open your cards real fast.
Caitlin and Liv. When we saw these in Disney, we just knew we had to get them for y'all. We hope y'all love them as much as we love y'all's amazing birthday messages. Aww. They always give us a huge smile. Enjoy, and we hope to see you soon. Texas Connection, the Trinidad. Thank you. Now let's play.
Fire it up.
Oh, I'm not going to show you. Neither will I.
Oh,
But this still represents Canada.
Okay, there we go.
Cups
Now let's
and
do
hockey
this.
sticks.
let's see.
Flag. Oh, sorry. You want to see?
No.
Clapping.
No, you want see?
Did you see that final shove?
Did what?
Did you see that final shove? Oh my God, man.
I didn't. I just had a black screen and it said failed to upload video. That's all I
Oh
got.
man, did anybody else get that? Son of a gun. I hope that didn't happen. Let me know if you got that video. Either way, those two little girls.
It sounds like it was funny as hell based on your reaction coming out of the black screen.
Every time we see it, man, it's awesome. Well, those girls are really special. So I'll tell you what, if you know Tyler, let them know about Olivia and Caitlin, because they bring a lot of joy to a lot of people on the circuit. But oh yeah, Audrey says she saw it. So, and Biscuit said he saw it. So that was cool.
Good
Yeah,
job.
man. So they're very special. But thank you guys very much. Tyler, thank you for sending that video. That was really awesome. Joe, you missed it, but we'll play it. We'll play it again at some point.
Okay.
So we got D Rodriguez. What's up, Joe and Trini? Center Mass loves the podcast.
What's up, my man?
Yeah, man, we appreciate that.
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't do that with all the videos that we got for tonight.
Yeah, I hope not either. But you're the only one that hasn't seen it. That's the only bad thing.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure. Hopefully, the next video works. Hey, Corey Rogerson's tuning in. He says, almost lost my brother when we were kids due to his rupturing. Hospital for around 25 days. By the way, you guys still look sharp.
Corey making me blush already, man. We're only
Joe, show him
20 minutes in.
Corey, I'm happy that your brother didn't succumb to that. And it is something that was serious. And they told me that, especially when they were younger. So I know we're going to have tournament recaps. Joe, you want to take the lead from here? We're talking about the Brian Aselton Memorial Tournament in Tampa, Florida. What you got, man?
Well, I mean, Brian Aselton Tournament in Tampa, it's a great tournament. I played in it last year, and I would have loved to get down there again this year. I wasn't able to, but it's awesome weather down there, awesome location, and there's some great competition this year. For everyone who was on the message board, you probably are aware of how everything played out, but for those that weren't, there's a lot of great games in the pool play with Miami 5-0 and L&I Express, which is the new Louisville, Indiana combo team. Used to be Louisville Metro, and some of the guys from the Indiana guys from the Ohio team. Kentucky Blue also went undefeated, and those were the 1, 2, and 3 seeds, and that led into the bracket play. In the end, the Hounds pretty much ran through the tournament. Now they had some really close games. They beat Sencal in 8 innings. They took that to extra innings, and they beat Max Elite 13-12 to go on to be the last undefeated team in the bracket. Jimmy's teams seem to always win those close games. They got a hell of a team, and those guys just know how to win.
Hey, Joe, real quickly, those guys always seem to, right before Vegas, or not right before Vegas, but throughout the year, man, they're always in there in those top 3 in every tournament that they play. Typically, I mean, how do they do in Vegas? Do you remember? I know you're more of the stats guy. I'm not as good at the stats.
I believe they finished 3rd this year, if I remember correctly. But they're always in the top, man. They're always in the running for the championship, no matter what tournament they're playing in. Jimmy's always got his guys ready to play. And those guys, I mean, they're as solid as they come. I mean,
yeah, man.
The results speak for themselves.
Yeah.
But there was a couple other teams that did really well. Mid-Atlantic got beat early on in the tournament by Kentucky Blue. And they came back in the loser side of the bracket, rattled off 6 wins against some really good teams, including Sencal, Connection, North Florida, Max Elite, South Florida, Dayton, Connecticut. They had an awesome game against Max Elite to see who got to play the Hounds in the championship.
Wow. And
they came out on top 31-28, so they put up 60 runs combined between the two of them. And obviously, after running through six games leading into the championship, Mid-Atlantic didn't get it done in the championship game. But, of course, the Hounds are, like I said, I mean, they got a hell of a team. So it's tough to pull off a win, especially playing that many games in one day. But anyway, sounded like there was some really good competition out there, a lot of really good games. Mid-Atlantic made that run, and one thing that's a little different than their team last year is Corey Rogerson, who's obviously listening right now. He's back on the team. Sounds like he's currently running for sheriff in some town in North Carolina. I don't know exactly where, county, town, something like that. But anyway, he was back on the team and clearly made a difference to where they made it to the championship, run through some teams that second day. But one thing I do want to mention was after the tournament on the website, on the message board, Jimmy Walters made a post, which I'm kind of excited about, being that San Diego, I guess 2 years ago was the last Masters. Was that was last year? So San Diego was the last Masters division tournament, I guess, by PS.com, and then they were just going to scrap it. And Jimmy Walters sounds like he's going to now add a Masters event, so a 40-plus event prior to the Open tournament. So I'm guessing the Open tournament runs on Saturday, Sunday. I'm guessing the Masters will probably be a Thursday, Friday, like a Thursday night, Friday day tournament or something along those lines. But I'm pretty pumped, and I'm glad Jimmy's taking the reins on that. That's pretty pretty awesome thing.
I'm excited, man. I'm excited about that. There's quite a few people who have expressed interest in that, and I understand Jeff and the whole not getting as many teams to sign up and all the added stress that it takes to throw a separate division like that. Even if it's on separate days, it doesn't matter. It's still a lot that goes on in a tournament to be able to do that. So it's really cool that he's willing to do it. And I will say, that with New York, I'm excited to go this year. And even if we, for whatever reason, can't get a team together, I still told him I would show up. So I am. And I'm hoping I can jump on a team. But now that they have a Masters, I think that'll be pretty cool. I mean, I want to take my own team up there, just put together, and whoever wants to go to New York, let's go. If your team's not going, be a cool thing to be able to do. But that excites me about that Masters. That's very cool.
This is going to be that, Tampa's already a big draw. So I think for location wise, and to add that Masters division to that tournament is going to be a big deal. I think there used to be a Masters tournament. I believe it was in Orlando. And that ran through like 2014 or 15, I think, but then they stopped doing that. But I think that's a big thing, Jimmy. I appreciate you doing that, and you can count a team in that I'll be bringing down there if you get that rolling. Also, one last thing to note: Kentucky Blue 1, LNI Express 0 in their first match ever in the Battle of Kentucky teams.
No joke.
I wanted to get that out there for Camper and Witt.
Get a little rivalry kind of thing going on there. Get the little sparks flying. That's good. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, I'm excited because there's been some whispers going on about Florida having another tournament. So I can't say who yet, and I can't say, when, but I will just say that Florida's looking at hosting another tournament. I personally would like to go to Florida. I think it'd be a cool vacation to head up there, and you can always go somewhere within the state, once you get there and plan a vacation out of it. So I'm excited about that. It's cool. Got the DEA kickoff next. Well, congratulations to those teams also. The DEA kickoff, let's see. I think it was, what weekend was it, Joe?
I believe it was the weekend after the Tampa tournament.
Oh, okay.
So they were back-to-back weekends, the first two tournaments of the year. The DEA kickoff this year was in Palm Springs. I've been to the DEA kickoff twice. Once was in Riverside, and once was in West Covina. And they changed locations. I think that's just depending on where BLD place, has an opening. So whatever complex they have an opening on the weekend that they're looking for, I believe that's that's why it's constantly rotating around in those different complexes. But once again, those guys got a great turnout over there, a lot of good, solid West Coast teams. I think there was 12 gold division teams is what I was told. And the rest filled in the majors. The gold, I heard there's a lot of solid competition with Aftermath, Bay Area Combo, West Coast Lawmen, Sin City, BP Arsenal. All those teams were solid all weekend. West Coast Lawmen, another team that just had there's a lot of close games, but they came out, undefeated. They ran through the tournament just like the Hounds did over on the East Coast. And they came out on top, but it wasn't easy. There was a lot of close games from what I was told. I wasn't there, obviously, but I was, from people that were there, I got a lot of feedback saying that these guys would be a really solid mid-major division team. Going to the major bracket, the LAPD Blue, another team that obviously, everybody knows about them. They kick everyone's ass every year. Pretty much every tournament they play in, they're spraying champagne. They're, throwing around medals and trophies and stuff at the end. And, but anyway, no, they do it. They got a hell of a team. They got a great team.
Oh, yeah.
Guys kick some butt, and they deserve what they get. They put in time, and they got a hell of a team, but they went undefeated through the tournament. A lot of good games though. DEA, State 48 Razorbacks. I think State 48 did really well. They finished third. They split games with the Razorbacks, and I know the Razorbacks.
Wow.
We talked about that
Yeah.
team in an earlier episode, basically how they made some solid pickups, and it's starting to show, I believe. They split with State 48, and State 48's a solid team. So, but when it came down to it, DEA versus LAPD in the championship, and those are the two teams that you expect to be there, and they were there, and LAPD came out on top.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, it's neat since we started this podcast to be able to hear about what these teams are doing outside of just, because not everybody goes to the ps.com website or the message board. I know I miss things all the time. So it's neat to be able to tune in and to be able to hear how these teams are doing, because when you're able to see them at a tournament, you're like, man, I keep hearing about these dudes, whether it be New York. We got a couple of people that are tuning in that are new to the circuit. And so for them to get caught up like this, I think it's a really neat thing that we're introducing to the circuit as far as this podcast is concerned, a video podcast, because you're able to actually put a kind of a record to a team and go, wow, man, if I see these dudes on the schedule and we're not playing, it's cool to go over there and watch these teams and really see whether it's you look at them as an opportunity to see how your team can improve or maybe pick up some pointers. For me, I'm like a fan, Joe. When I go to watch teams, I'm like a fan when I'm there. I forget that I'm even in the tournament. I'm there to see a game like I would if I went to an MLB, game like you have at your tournament, by the way. But when I go to an MLB game, I mean, I'm there with my popcorn and stuff, and I'm excited to watch it. So I think it's really neat to be able to hear about these teams, and then, you see LAPD Blue versus New York, you make the time to go see that game. That's exciting.
Yep. No, those guys, they're top in the game, and for a good reason. They got just unbelievable players and unbelievable talent, and they know how to win. So.
Yeah, man.
That's when teams are building and making moves in the off season. That's what they're looking to do. They're looking at LAPD and how can I get to that level.
Yeah, very cool. Congratulations to all you guys there at that tournament. It's cool. I'm looking forward to playing some of them again this year. So I went and I was able to participate with our team, SA Law, with the Gary Gryder Memorial Softball Tournament. This thing took place in Houston, Texas. It's a military, fire, EMS, and police tournament. So although it's not just a police tournament, I thought it was still worth mentioning because there were quite a few from our circuit that showed up for it because, of course, it's here in Texas. So we got the Gary Gryder story. I mean, that's when we talk about Gary in 2008, he was struck and he was killed by a drunk driver. And he was directing traffic at a construction site. And so he served with Houston, and he had been there for 23 years. So Mandy Lee Day, she put this tournament on. And if you'll see Mandy there to the left with one of the Houston Hustle players, that's Gary and his photo there on the field during the opening ceremonies. And it was really neat because Mandy, her father, was on the Houston Police Department. She was raised up with police softball. Her father played a lot of police softball. And so she ended up carrying this tradition on of police softball involved in her family, and ultimately created this tournament in honor of Gary Gryder. In this tournament, I was very fortunate and didn't know it was going to happen. I'm standing there on the side during opening ceremonies, and I was awarded an award. It was cool. It's Sergeant Thomas Young Award. And this came about because Mandy, she loves police softball, and so did Sergeant Young. He loved police softball, showed up, wasn't necessarily a player that was to be reckoned with. This is from Mandy's words, but he loved the game just like we all do. And he showed up regardless of the situation. Didn't matter about whether he was going to start or not. He loved the game. He showed up and supported Mandy with everything that she was doing whenever she needed any kind of help. And he ultimately passed away due to cancer. So, that's what the tournament was there for. And if you'll notice in the background, right where I'm at, that is Austin Gryder. That's Gary's son. And it was really cool because, obviously I'm on the field with him. It was neat because he graduated from Sam Houston State University and ended up joining the HPD, went to recruiting, joined the HPD, and then ultimately, got on with their department. So it was a very big honor to play in the tournament and to share the field with him, of course, to get that award in Sergeant Young's honor and to be there in honor of Gary Gryder. Just a side note, Austin joined HPD and is following both his mom and dad into the HPD family. So that's pretty cool because Debbie Gryder, which is Austin's mother, Gary's wife, is retired HPD officer. So that was pretty cool. Biotex was there to support. Pretty cool. Give a little shout out to our company. We got David and Roxanne from Houston that supports the Houston Hustle. They sponsor their team and ultimately have raffles and tents, and they end up supporting in that way. One of the big things that we enjoy is hanging out, right? That's a huge thing when it comes to SA Law and of course, most teams out in the circuit. When we're done playing or in between games, we go out for team lunches or hang out. And so you'll see a picture of us here at the hotel after we're done playing, going out there and throwing some cornhole. And so that's a really neat thing. But one of the things that goes along with this is seeing the PS.com players that showed up. So when you see this picture, you got Brad out there, Tyler, Jay, and Jake. You can see them in these pictures. They were all there. And so it was a cool time to be able to catch up with these dudes from within the circuit. Although some of these teams that show up don't really participate in the circuit, it's still neat to be able to see these guys come in and ultimately share the field with them on different teams. So that was pretty cool. And Joe, I don't know if you know this, but Tyler, he does a lot. He brings a lot. He always comes bearing gifts. Well, one of the things he did this year was he brought Trip a challenge coin. And check this out, dude. Tell me how cool this is. I mean, there is not very many of these coins. I can't remember how many. He said, Deanna, maybe you can type that in there, but there weren't very many. Let's see here. Oh, okay. She says she's got, that is number 22 of 40 of those challenge coins that are there. And I just thought that was a really neat thing. He knew that Trip really loved Star Wars. And so he brought that to him with that thin blue line, if you look in the background on the left picture. So Tyler, thank you so much for always thinking of Trip and always bringing gifts.
Tyler's like the Santa Claus of the police circuit. Every time he's busting out, he's pulling beers out of his pocket, like these Canadian beers. He's pulling out, these bottles of Canadian whiskey out of his bag. The guy's got coins, he's got patches. The guy is like the Santa Claus of the circuit.
He truly is. He's always coming bearing gifts. He's got ketchup potato chips. He gave me a Wayne Gretzky whiskey bottle that I have on my bar. I mean, it's just really cool. So I'm very, very appreciative of his friendship, his family's friendship, and what he does for everybody within the circuit, man. I wish he lived here. So in this tournament, we ended up having Houston Heat ended up taking first place. It was a really weird kind of championship game. We won't get into it, but basically Houston Heat took first. Dallas Fire took second. SA Law, we took third in this tournament. And then Houston Hustle. I don't think they placed, but that's their team picture. In attendance, we don't have pictures for, was Lone Star, Team Texas, Texas Fugitives, and then Team Louisiana made the trip up. So we appreciate them coming up and getting that work in for this tournament. So
speaking of Team Louisiana, when are they going to show up to Waxahachie, man?
I'm telling you. So I understand the word is that this year they're going to be there. So we have a team list coming up here in a little bit, and I'm very cautious with putting anybody on that list that has not given me a verbal, I've got the messages from about probably 8 more teams than you're going to see on our team list. I think we got 5 or 6 teams that are solid, but I've got about 8 teams that have told me they're coming. I just wait for that for sure thing before I put them on the list. But yeah, they're supposed to be making it this year. And from what I understand, they're going to make it. So I'm happy about that. So Andreas, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate that. Dan says that's a badass coin. And let's see. Thank you, Dana. We got Dan Potter saying the Canadian chocolate as well. Well. I haven't had the Canadian chocolate yet. Maybe I'll get some in. Andreas says that he's smuggling in goods from Canada. And then Jeff Blair. Jeff's joining us. He says, bizarre championship game that we won't get into. Sounds exactly the scenario we are here to listen to.
I want to hear it too. Jeff. I don't know why Trini's holding back on that.
All right.
Drop a teaser like that, not say anything about it. Come on.
All I really needed was one person to ask. But no, I know. All I will say is that DFW, the fire team, they were in the championship. I know the Stoolie would love it, but it wasn't involving a police team, another police team, and that's why I wasn't going to bring it up. But DFW ended up going into the championship undefeated, and it was going to be on Team Heat to be able to double dip them. And Team Heat got it done in that first game, and in the second game, probably in the first couple of innings, it basically the game was dropped at that point. It was an altercation, not physically, but verbally, and then it ended up coming to an end. And you hate to see a tournament end like that, not being actually played out. So
how do you end something on a verbal altercation? What do you do?
Your team representative says I'm out, and your team coach says I'm out, and then that's where it ends. So that's how that ended up coming. Kind of anticlimactic, but we don't want to get into how it ended up happening. So the Stoolie, I know, would love this, but doesn't really apply because it's a fire team. So Andreas says Manny and Andreas of the Cornhole Boards. Yeah, they're the champions. They won the money, is what it is. I hope you enjoy that short-lived championship. I'll tell you what, Joe, on to the next subject. We got Biscuit and a cool video that you did with Biscuit. You want to get into that real quick before we show it?
Let's hope it's cool. Deanna probably did a great editing job to make it look that way. But for those that were on the message board, they probably already know this. For those that weren't, Biscuit and Great Lakes are sponsored by Miken. I believe Biscuit's a Miken rep, and there's a bat with Miken that they benefit the badge bat, and there's a deal basically for the police officers in the circuit that you basically would call him or email him. He'll give you a number to call with a code. You use that and you get a discount on the bat, a significant discount on the bat.
A great discount.
And so we'll go into the interview here with Biscuit, and he'll explain to you everything about the deal.
So tell her, Joe, roll it.
Roll it. I'd like to start off by introducing who we have on here and why we have him on here. His name is Jeff Graus. He goes by Biscuit. Everyone in the circuit knows him as Biscuit. Pitcher for the Great Lakes Lawmen. That's for you, Jay-Z. I know you like that Lawman name. And he's been in police ball since 2005. He started in civilian ball around 2000. He got into competitive tournament travel ball in 2006. He won the C World Championship U-Trip. And in 2008, he won the B World Championship U-Trip. And then in 2011, he won the Police World Championships in Vegas with Great Lakes Lawmen, and 2017 won the USSSA major with Smash It. From what I hear, he said 2022 he's going to be the PS.com World Series champion.
Wouldn't that be nice?
That
has a good ring to it.
Yeah, so you and I both want to win that one. You guys have the history, though. You guys have the history.
You guys have been adding on to your squad, so I kind of know what you guys have been coming back with. So, but we made some changes too. And we're really excited. You guys made any moves? Picked up any new bodies, any new players, any new studs? We have. I mean, we've made a couple moves. We've been coming to a lot of tournaments with 10 guys, maybe 11 guys. In those 10 or 11 guys, we've had some injuries. We've had some guys beat up. We had some guys grinding through. So we needed to add a couple guys to more well-round our team, but let guys be healthy for a whole tournament. I mean, we have guys out there 6, 7, 8 games and they're hurting, and we were still winning. We're still doing well, but it's time. None of us are getting younger. We need to add a few guys to some depth and to get younger as well.
So speaking of younger, how old are you now?
I am 44.
44.
44.
And how long do you see yourself playing softball?
I don't know. Every year, I guess it's year to year. I'm in the Tom Brady mode. So it's like, do I come back? Do I say I'm done and then try it all over again? But you get that itch. You know how it goes, and then especially when you get so close, right? You get so close in October in Vegas with us. You get so close, in an A. You're playing conference, and you meet all these guys from across the country. You don't want that to end. And so every year you kind of start thinking more and more, and the kiddos start doing stuff. My kiddos are playing travel ball. I'm coaching them. It gets tougher and tougher, but you still got that competitive itch. As long as I'm ready to put in the work and, try to do my best out there and have some results, I'd like to keep going, maybe a couple more years.
I rattled off a bunch of highlights, I guess, in your softball career to introduce you. If you had to pick one accomplishment in softball, what would you say was your biggest?
Obviously, the police ones are big. And, being on this podcast and talking to you, I mean, we all get it, right? There's that brotherhood, being able to go compete, whether you're yelling and screaming, whether there's controversy on the diamond, then going to have a beverage after, because that doesn't happen in the civilian circuit. That doesn't happen in the conference. It's different for us. That 11ps.com win was huge. It's something that you want to live again, and that's obviously one of the main reasons I keep coming back to police ball. I want another one. I want the chance to go out there, compete, hold that up with my buddies and get some of the younger guys that taste to keep them going. Some of the defensive ones, I mean, that's why I'm out there. I'm a pitcher more than I'm a hitter, and we have the benefit as a pitcher to. We get a lot of all tournaments because if you win, they accredit a lot to the pitcher, stuff like that. It's the police one for sure. All my defensive ones from there. If I can put another bracket over here, it would be, that major. It was a special year for me. It was a special year to join those guys, play with some unbelievable players, from the Andy Purcells to the Ryan Harveys to the Andrew Collins, who are all MVPs and U-Trip guys. To have that year with them, learn a lot. There's not many guys that can say they won the major. It trades between a couple teams every year. So to have one, it's pretty special.
You're joining us today because of this awesome deal with a new bat that's been made by Miken.
I've been lucky enough to be a Miken rep since 2016. They gave me the opportunity to hop on as a Miken ambassador. This bat's been out for a while. I'll show it here. It's the Miken Benefit the Badge bat. They came to me with the idea of wanting me to help promo the bat on our circuit, basically to let everyone know that they were ready to give these bats out on the police circuit and to current law enforcement officers and retired officers, or those playing in the police circuit, a great deal. And so when I heard that, I said, absolutely, whatever I can do for you. I spoke to Don Cooper, who is the director of slow pitch operations for basically Rawlings, East, and Miken Worth. He's in charge of all the slow pitch operations. He was one of the guys that ran combat back in the day, so I have a great relationship with him. Brett Helmer, as everyone knows, he's great to our circuit, the sports marketing manager. And then actually who's helped a lot with this is an old teammate of mine, Mike Dill, who is the sports marketing specialist for Rawlings, East, and Miken Worth. And everybody put their heads together. They asked me to reach out to everybody. And so what they're willing to do is give this bat at a discounted rate to any police officer. It's a great bat. It's the basically the KP that everybody's been hitting over the past several years. It's the 12-inch barrel. It's all this new C4 technology, a two-piece bat with the end load, the max load. Unbelievable bat that it's always been. And if you liked any of the Mikens in the past, or you swing that short barrel, you swing the KP that you've been for years, basically this is the same bat with all the up and new technology of the 240 bats. Whoever orders this bat, it will be coming directly from Miken. You will put in your order. Miken will send you a link for payment, and next thing you know, it's shipped to your house directly from Miken with all the warranties and everything else you need. Because of some things online and online prices and stuff like that, we don't really give those prices out online because of dealers and arrangements they have between dealers and companies and stuff like that. So what I'm asking is that everybody contact me. Please send me a email. If you have my number, please call me. It doesn't matter, and I will put you through. Take care of it. We'll get you that out, and you'll have it very quickly, and hopefully for some of the start of these seasons here. I was able to hit this bat several times. Same performance. They hold up. Quite honestly, Rawlings, Easton, Miken Worth, they put in more engineering, they do more research, and they spend more money on all that technology and the information behind it than all the other companies and all the other bat companies combined. So they've been around a long time. The bat's holding up. It's holding compression. And it's the same, Miken bats that we've come to love.
This is the new 240 stamp, correct?
Yes, it's the same specs as the KP bat that everybody's been hitting, that everybody's loved, from the Freak 30 to the Highlighter to all the Kyle Pearson bats that have been over the past few years.
That Highlighter is probably my favorite all-time bat. I still have 2 of them.
Unbelievable bat.
Just hitting BP with it this week.
Yep, and obviously because of the new standards, they did have to tech them a little bit differently to fit within the standards. But as well as I do, they've been around a long time, and the reason is it's one of the hottest selling bats. And now with Miken, I believe it's on that top list of all time.
What are the options for sizes with this bat?
This bat will come in the 25, 26, and 27 models, just like the other ones. And again, it has the half-ounce max load in the end that guys have come to like as well. It's just another example of Rawlings, Easton, Mike, and Worth really appreciating what we do. They tell me it all the time in personal conversations. It's the reason Helmer comes out to the police circuit, as much as he can. This is exactly why they made that bat for us. Because they truly do appreciate what we do. And it even says right on the bat, in honor of all the men and women who fearlessly protect us. All you have to do, you give your info, you say what police department you work for, you mentioned my name or how this came to be, whether it be Police Softball Podcast, ps.com, and it's yours. They'll send you a link for payment and you take it from there.
This bat sells for, I believe, right around $300. I know what the deal is, and the deal it's an unbelievable deal. And if you guys are interested in the bat, you need to get a hold of Jeff, because this it's a steal, put it that way. Portion of the sales of each bat, does that go to benefit the bat?
They're setting aside X amount of dollars from every sale to the police organizations. X amount of bats sold is going to be this price. So you are getting the bat at a great price, but you're also helping out. There's been a lot of orders, so I want to thank all of you that have ordered already. We're lucky enough to be a Miken sponsored team, Great Lakes. Can't thank them enough. We're their flagship team on the circuit, and they take care of us endlessly. Sometimes it's as easy as a phone call to take care of guys. So we want to keep that relationship going personally, but we also want to keep them in the big picture, because I know what Easton does for the World Series. I know what some of these companies do for tournaments like yourself. We do want to show our support for them as well.
Well, Jeff, I appreciate you joining us, and I appreciate everything you did as far as getting this deal together for the bat, for the guys in the circuit.
Thank you for bringing me on. All those guys at, Easton, Mike, and Worth, they can't thank you enough for doing stuff like this as well. They appreciate everything we do on the field, off the field, and definitely at work.
All right, brother. We'll see you.
Thank you, Joe.
Excellent job.
Hey, Trini, real quick.
Yeah, man.
So I got a couple texts here from Biscuit while we were airing that. A couple updates. First, I saw a comment by Andy. He asked, "Is there any balanced versions?" There's only one version of the bat. It's an end-loaded version, so there is no balanced versions. Now, I just got these texts from Jeff. He said, "Update on the bats. 25-ounce bats are now sold out. So there's only 26 and 27-ounce bats available still while supplies last." And also, he says that orders that have been put in, is people have already received their bats, and they've been using them, and they're saying they're testing great right out of the wrapper, hitting really well. So a lot of good reviews on them, and it sounds like they're going quick. The 25s are gone, 26 and 27 still available.
Awesome. Well, I'll tell you what, a couple of notes on that is, number one is, I enjoy whenever I'm able to talk to Biscuit, because I know he gets, as a pitcher especially, you're absolutely involved in every single play of a game, right? So you're emotionally involved, you're emotionally charged. I'm sure these dudes, because I've pitched for a little while, not very long, but for a little while, and man, you're in, it's mentally wearing on you. So for him to be able to come off the field and still have the type of conversation that he has with me and with other people, I mean, I just think it's a really neat thing, because he's played, I mean, you hear the, not necessarily accolades, because he's not looking for accolades, but they are what they are, man. And they are achievements within the sport that we love. And so for this dude to be able to be as down to earth as he is, I really appreciate that. He never makes me feel like I'm bothering him or anything like that. So that's one thing. Second thing is Miken. I know how big they are in the softball world, and kind of like talking about elite and all. I mean, when they're able to show love to the law enforcement circuit, which is nowhere near what their income, I'm sure, equates to when it comes to the civilian world, it's still cool that they take the time to show love towards us. And I know it's an appreciation for what we do, because I talked to Los, and of course with Biscuit and Mike, and obviously they're they're into it when they sponsor Great Lakes in your tournament and things like that. So a real big shout out to Mike, and thank you guys so much for supporting us and for what we do. I mean, when you're running through the night jumping fences, you know, with dudes that are known to have guns on them, it may sound silly, but somewhere deep inside, we think about all the appreciation that we get when we get it. And it's what keeps us pushing on. So thank you guys again, Mike and Joe. I think you did a wonderful job on that interview. And Biscuit also, it flowed really well. And so that was a great job, man.
Biscuit's the one that did awesome. He was the one with all the info. So,
hey, so Jeff is tuning in and he says, I love the lighter bat option. Back in my heyday, I loved the lighter bats. I actually used a 24-ounce fast pitch bat in Palm Springs before provided bat era. Everyone thought I was crazy, but I believe the lighter the bat with the longer barrel allowed for better bat control. The fields at BLD play small. The 24 had plenty of pop to hit it out. And with the home run limit, the light bats allowed for much better bat control. And I agree. I like the 25 ounce every once in a while when I'm feeling strong. I feel like I see Joe and he inspires me, and then I'll go up to a 26, but I like swinging the 25 also. So that sucks that it's out, but is what it is. It just means you need to get in there and get your order in quickly. Joe, I don't know if did we miss how to get a hold of Biscuit for those that don't know? Did we?
He did. It was included. So Deanna put his email address with an arrow with a flashing pointer pointing right at it towards the end of his interview.
Deanna, is there any way to bring that up separately just to give everyone a chance? And if not, what we can do is we can include it in the comments. So just look in the comment section. If there's a link, we'll include it. If not, Biscuit, if you can give us a link, maybe Deanna, if you can send it to Joe and Joe can forward it to Deanna if you don't have Deanna.
Yeah, there's no link. You have to contact him via text, phone call, or email. All right. He's going to give you somebody's phone number or contact information to reach out to regarding this bat.
Got it. So we'll Deanna, I know she's on it, and we'll get it on there. And in the comments, we'll be able to include how to get hold of Biscuit for that. So no, Deanna, we can't. So let's see here. His email is in the description of the podcast. Okay, so in the description of the podcast, you should be able to see his email, but either way, Biscuit, even if you can send Joe something, and Joe, maybe if you can forward it to Deanna, maybe she can include it, or you can include it in the comment section, his email or something like that. However it is that he chooses to be contacted for that. Yep. Cool. All right, cool. So, all right. So, hey, on to the tournament previews. If you're interested in going to the St. Louis Show Me Classic, or you're maybe not interested this year for whatever reason, your schedule doesn't allow it, we're going to give you a little bit of an idea of what's going on at Joe's tournament. Obviously, we take a lot of care and a lot of pride when it comes to putting on this tournament, as most directors do. And so I think it's important to be able to highlight that. You got a lot of guys signed up already. Joe, let's see. We're going to go on to the St. Louis Show Me Classic logo for those that don't know. Let's see. There you go. That was last year's.
That was last year's. There's going to be something. It'll be new this year, but it's not completed yet. But yeah, that's last year's, and this year's looking like you said. There's a lot of teams already committed, and a lot of teams that have never been to St. Louis.
Awesome, man. So, really excited about that. So yes, Deanna, that's what we're going to do. We're going to show a Show Me Classic collage, I think is what we're going to do. Joe, so that's a little collage of some of the past teams and players that are there. And so what do you got going on there?
At Great Lakes, you got the Angel Armor out of Colorado. They won the gold division. You got I-80, who came in second place to Great Lakes last year. They put together a really good tournament. You got the Great Lakes guys there with me in the bottom after they won their championship. And looks like Biscuit's got a 64-ounce beer in his hand. And Dan Mcintyre, he was Dan McIntyre from Midwest Heat. He was a sponsor. He was a sponsor of the tournament, Dynamax Sports, and he provided gloves to the defensive MVPs of both brackets, and that's what he's doing there. He's presenting one of the gloves to Great Lakes for their win, and hopefully this year, like I said, there's a lot of new teams that haven't been to St. Louis. There's a lot coming back, but I'm looking forward to seeing all the new faces out there.
Yeah, man. So I don't know, maybe in one of these collages you can show past winners, that maybe like, I don't know, SA Law or something like that. But it's something to consider as you come on to your podcast on the next review. So we got the teams. Let's go ahead and throw up the teams that have committed to this point.
Yep. So there's a lot of the old faces: Missouri, SA Law, Great Lakes, KC, Midwest Heat, I-80, Kentucky Blue, and Dayton, Minnesota. There's a lot of new faces on there. You got the L&I Express, one of the new teams that were just formed, Texas Fugitives, Detroit PSC, Utah Metro, Houston Hustle, and second to last down there, Potter's Hard Hitting West Coast Combo Squad. They're bringing out a team from the West Coast, so I'm looking forward to seeing who he's bringing. And obviously, Angel Armor's coming back out again to St. Louis to try to defend their championship last year.
All right. So I'll tell you what, we got a question from Andreas here in a second, but Deanna, if you don't mind, will you put the teams back up there? All right. So with Potter's Hard Hitting West Coast Combo Squad, are you going to just create that into an acronym, or are you going to buy a separate board to include their team name when it comes to the teams participating?
Typically, like the brackets that I put up are, I think they're 3 foot by 2 foot. I'm going to have to actually make these so the lines are long enough. I'll have to make it about 6 foot by 4 foot.
All right.
So, but yeah, I'll make the arrangements to make sure we get that full name on the line.
I think it'd be really cool to find out if that's the longest name ever participating in a law enforcement softball tournament. Because if so, I'm going to beat it next year. But on that note, when we start talking about Texas Fugitives, I think one of the cool things that we talk about when it comes to our circuit is exposing other teams to our circuit. And so I took the coach up there from Houston Hustle. Is it Houston Hustle? No, not Hustle. Fugitives, Texas Fugitives. And then they're back this year with their own team. So that's what I think that, I'd like to see is that exposure, man. If you got somebody, and I know with my tournament, it's a wild card. We allow one player outside of your 2-state rule to be able to participate, to be able to try to, expand the exposure of the circuit. So that's a cool development that they're bringing their own team up this year. And so, I encourage everybody to do that themselves.
I give you credit for all the other Texas teams that have been coming up. I imagine without you coming up every year, they probably wouldn't be doing so. So I appreciate that, and I appreciate you supporting my tournament every year.
That's a good one, Deanna. Yeah, man. Well, you're very welcome, and you're right, because even with Team Texas, I think it was taking them up there and being able to expose them to that. But Andreas is asking, is there an MLB game this year? So I know we're going to get into that here in a second, but might as well hit on it now since
yes. So there's the week leading up to the tournament this year, which is the 6th and 7th of August. There's that Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the Cardinals are playing the Yankees. So Friday night, if everything goes well, I wasn't sure there was going to be a season this year with the lockout and everything else, but obviously things have changed. They're playing, the game's on, and I've been in contact with with one of the Cardinals reps over there and trying to work something out for the game, just like I have in the past, where we'll probably get a bunch of bleacher seats or something like that. But that's going to be a big game. I mean, it's probably going to be sold out or close to it, Cardinals versus Yankees. And the 3 days prior to that, which is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, they're playing the Cubs, I believe, those 3 days. So if you guys want to come up early, if you want to see another great rivalry game, I mean, there's those teams will pack it out every time at Busch Stadium. So, but anyway, that's the plan, to like we typically done in the past few years. Yankees game, and then you got Ballpark Village across the street, which I'll have some type of party lined up and drinks and stuff like that afterwards.
It's always a great party, man. It's a badass tournament. It's why I attend every year and then try to bring as many people as possible. So, hey, if you're wondering about that players party, which I think is a cool aspect of tournaments. I mean, we all go to play ball, but in the end, we do take family, or we're looking for a good time to be able to go out, relax, and to be able to enjoy some camaraderie. So check out this Show Me Classic, St. Louis Show Me Classic player party video. That's what you get. Sorry, Joe. Sorry you're not seeing it. I think everybody else is seeing it though, right?
That's all that matters.
You can give me another thumbs up if you got that video. We're going to move on to that was a players party. And now, because we've already gone over an hour, Joe, let's head into the video when it comes to the actual recap of your St. Louis Show Me Classic. Is that cool?
Yep.
All right. There it goes. Yeah. Come on, pull the ticket.
Hey, Garcia. Come on, I need to get my flights. No. I hate it.
All right. Any on but one. Appreciate it, brother.
Check it out, son.
Get your new coin.
Oh, this is really cool. Thank you. Never had one like this before.
Congratulations, I go back to school.
This is really cool.
So something Dad and Mom didn't see.
Oh,
No, let me win, but if I cannot win, it'll be great for me to come.
yep.
Let's be a trip.
Thank you. This is really cool.
I'm gonna go follow him.
About time you showed up. I see you smiling. You've been here since Thursday, bro. You guys are number 2 right now. Let's go.
Yes, go ahead.
What?
Let's go to number 1.
I don't know that walk.
We all know that one.
Trying to pay it off. Hurry up, Zoe. What a baby.
What great memories created at these tournaments, man. Number 1, Dan Mcintyre. If y'all don't know, Dynamac, big shout out. That dude doesn't care, man. He's not interested in abs or anything. I don't think he's done a sit-up probably since 13, but he just doesn't care. He just shows up and lets all of his glory out there.
It's something about St. Louis. He's got to take his clothes off.
And then you got Jay over there talking all kinds of noise. He keeps it light, and that's really cool. I value him a lot. It's a great tournament, Joe.
It is funny, man.
Yeah, man. It's a great tournament. I'm excited to see all the teams showing up. Might be in Costa Rica. I know I'm in Costa Rica. I can't believe I'm saying this, but my team will be there. Even if I can't be, they will be there. So
I thought we were better than that, closer than that. You know what I mean?
I know it hurts me, man. Trust me, it hurts me. Poor planning on our part. My wife asked me, and I probably dropped the ball. So I only missed it by 1 day. So I apologize. But we'll see how it goes.
When's Waxahachie this year?
Shut up.
When is
You're stupid. On that note, though, we do have our player spotlight. Chris Ellison, if you don't know, this dude's playing with Missouri Lawmen. Badass player, great person, and so I'm excited to highlight him. We're going to go through some quick updates for the Keepers of the Peace National Softball Championships. Hotel options, if you don't mind. Those are the dates of this year's tournament. We got something special when it comes to the players' party. Hotel options. Deanna, if we can throw that up there real quick. So these are your options for the hotel. Man, prices have gone up. So if you want to lock in on some of these, man, I suggest you do it. They're going quickly. A couple of these hotels are like, 5 minutes from the park. I mean, they're really, really close. So it's something you really want to look into if you're coming down to the tournament. And these are the 3 options we've got. One of them we're working on. We'll put that out as soon as possible. But on that note, the Keepers of the Peace National Softball Championships, again, I want to clarify this. I'm only going with those that have given me their word, if you will, that they're going to be here. I had about 8. Oh, Fairfield Courtyard, and Best Western. Best Western, is that the one you're saying is unknown? Okay, but we're working on those. Either way, look at that and be able to call and get your. I think, Dana, maybe what we can do is put those in the link of the details. Maybe we can add it for that. But anyway, you want to get those rooms as quickly as possible. I will tell you that our teams, as far as our teams, when you look at what we've got confirmed, like hard confirmation, Joe, it's nowhere near your tournament. but that's for me. These are the hard teams. I'm looking for those to be able to give me those hard answers. You'll see that there's not a lot of Texas teams on there, although I've had the messages, text messages and everything. I know that we average about 16 teams here, so they're definitely going to be in. I just need to be able to hear from them with a solid word to be able to put them on the list. So, but I'm excited. We got the Missouri Lawmen, of course. We got our SA Law team, Shields for Kids, Nitro Hitman, Connecticut Lawmen, Utah Metro. If that tells you anything, these are teams that are coming in from other places. Great Lakes has had a good record of showing up, I think, from the beginning. So, yeah, they have been from the beginning. So, again, I'm just waiting to hear from them before I update it. I'm very conservative when it comes to these types of things, but I expect to be able to get some hardcore answers and update you with the next one.
And
On
Trini, I'm pretty sure I've had conversations with somebody associated with Minnesota, and I'm pretty sure that your tournament is on their schedule.
Yeah, and I'm really excited about that. I've heard that's one of the teams where it's like I've heard, but I need to be able to, get that hard confirmation. I will make this note though: Minnesota are the reigning champs. I mean,
they got to come back,
dude. I'll tell you,
they're coming back. They got to defend the title, man.
Dude, when you get teams like what we've had at your tournament, my tournament, it is ultimately a great warm up for what you're going to see at the World Series, and that's what we're all in this for. To be able to show up to Jeff and Dell's tournament with the World Series, PS.com World Series, and so these are great opportunities to be able to face that same kind of competition you're going to face there. So on that note, we'll get into the greet, eat, and drink, which is like our players party. We'll get into that video right now. Let's do it, Deanna. Dude, is that not some badass right there? Look at people ready. Look at those signs. I'm telling you, this town is freaking awesome.
Tell you guys that it's truly an honor to have you guys trust us to be able to come into from where y'all came in, to take your time off, the money it takes to come down here. I truly appreciate it, man. I can't tell you how much it weighs on our shoulders to put on a great event for you guys, an experience, not just softball. Hey, real quickly, you're going to support our organization, Shields for Kids, by participating in our raffle. We've got our raffle list here. We didn't have the room to put out, but they'll be on display tomorrow. So we got our raffle list here. We've got our shotgun that's already been cleared. If y'all don't know, this is a badass shotgun, America, and it is going to be available tomorrow. It's only 125 tickets sold, $25 each. That'll be drawn tomorrow. And then the shirts. Bart over here with his wife Stacy from Elite Sports USA. Got the shirts here in the back. Very limited sizes. They're badass. Thank you guys so much for what you do. And come on out here, Bart, and show them. Super, super happy about this. You want to let them know?
So we made this bat exclusively for this tournament. So if you look at it, you've seen the shirts already. So it's one of our Onyx bats. It says Keepers of the Peace. It's got Trini symbols on it. It's got police softball podcast. This is a really badass bat.
Yeah,
if you guys are swinging these tomorrow, you're going to have fun because they're hot.
Woo!
You will like it. I want to tell you guys, thank you so much.
Hey, real quick, my name's Brad Golden. This is my establishment. I'll remind you what I told the guys last year. Welcome to Texas, where we support the blue at all times, all right? Thank you for what you do. You spouses, girlfriends, etc., kids, thank you for letting your parents go out and protect us and do their duties, and we appreciate you so much.
Catchy music. I like that. It's cool. Players party. I like to thank Los and Ryan from Elite Sports for always supporting us. They show up. Bart and Stacy show up with their crew, and they bring the trailer out. This is as far east that they go from California. So it's a big honor for a big company like that, much like Miken, to be able to show love to our circuit, and to be able to show up like that and provide the gloves, batting gloves, shirts, pants, shoes, everything that they show up with. It's just a really cool honor. So I appreciate them and thank them very much for that. And also Beef O'Brady's. It's a obviously pro law enforcement town, and everybody feels it when they go there. So Waxahachie is a great place. It's a safe space, and it's a great time. And we'll show some more of that later, but ultimately, Joe, I want to get into the bracket play video that we made to show the guys the action, the fields, and what they can expect when they come to the tournament. Deanna, can we roll it?
With the raffle. So if you have tickets, just tune in. If not, we're going to have everything written down so you can check after your games or everything. First prize we're raffling off is a light pink portable charger. And the winner is Rains from United KC. you guys. We're getting ready to pull for the American flag shotgun. Woo! So we're bringing up somebody that's going to pull that's not one of us. Okay, we've got the winner. It's coming over here. The winner is Kyle Borden from Oklahoma. Woo! Kyle from Oklahoma. So that's all the raffles we got, you guys. Thank y'all so much for all your support of Shields for Kids and the Keepers of the Peace tournament. We're super grateful that you guys are here, and we hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Woo!
Out here with Great Lakes, it feels amazing to be out with a bunch of boys, just playing the game of softball, playing a kid's sport out here, just having fun. Looking to go into tomorrow 3-0, 4-0.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Renee from the Texas Fugitives. We're out here having a good time in Waxahachie. Last night's players' party was awesome. Meet and greet. Food was great. Trini, appreciate it. Hey, we're having a great time.
What's up, guys? Colby Martinez, playing for Team Oakland out of Oakland, California. Yeah, man, we're out here to ball today and have some fun and enjoy the sun and enjoy Waxahachie and, you know, all its comfort and all its hospitality.
My name's Stuart Donaldson, playing for Oakland Police Department. Goal is to win a few games, have some fun, not be at work.
Jay Garcia, I play with SA Law. I'm their best player on the team. If I don't play, usually they don't get in the tournament. So I made my way out here. SA Law means the world to me and my brothers, but more than that, it's law enforcement. All the brothers out here mean the world to me, so that's the reason I play this circuit. So appreciate everybody being out here. Thank you, Trini, for putting it on. Police softball for allowing us to play out here. And like I said, once again, I'm pretty much the best player in the circuit. I'll see you guys later.
We're Detroit Police, flew in yesterday down here to Waxahachie, and it's great to be down here, man. It's a well-run tournament, and the weather's a little hot, but I'm sure it's nice in the winter.
Pretty cool.
I love Jay, man.
Jay is badass.
My name is Jay Garcia. I am the best player on San Antonio Law.
I'm pretty much the best player in the circuit.
Oh man, he cracks.
Yeah, if y'all will pay attention to Jay when he comes to our tournaments, you'll have fun, and don't take it personally because he just likes to have fun out there on the field. But it's badass, man. So I'll tell you what. Hey, it's a great tournament. Both the St. Louis Show Me Classic, the Keepers of the Peace National Softball Championships, great tournaments, great fields, and that is one thing. I'll leave it. We can highlight it later. But Joe, I'll just say that both fields are kept really well, and you don't have to worry about. I should say you don't have to worry about it, but it minimizes the rain chances of it being canceled because of the fields and ultimately the staff that's there to take care of it. Fair assessment?
Fair assessment. I love it.
That's what I say. All right, cool. So, hey, on to the player spotlight. Don't leave. You guys are here. Everybody is stuck through the podcast. I can see the viewers. Check this out. Chris Ellison, badass new player to the circuit. You're going to really like his story, and ultimately he's playing for the Missouri Lawmen. Let's roll it. Very excited to be able to have this episode of the Police Softball Podcast when it comes to the player spotlight, because the thing that I enjoy is being able to meet people from across the circuit and to be able to know more about them than just what I see on the field. And today we're very fortunate to have Chris Ellison joining us from Oklahoma. Chris, thanks, man, for making the time to be here, brother.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man. Excited about this one. So, Chris, you're in law enforcement. You've been in law enforcement for 6 years. You are working with the Oklahoma Highway Patrol. Highway patrolmen have some of the coolest uniforms in law enforcement. It's kind of like the Marines when it comes to the military. They just got sharp uniforms. But you're also involved in another specialized unit. What unit is that? And what do they do?
I'm on our emergency response team. We do all the riot control stuff. We do search and rescue things. We also have a tactical team, which would be more like, SWAT team.
Yeah.
They're the ones that do like the high risk felony warrant stuff. And a lot of times if they got guys that are down or can't make it or whatever, then we can like supplement them. It's a lot of fun. I stay pretty busy.
So Chris has been 2 years on our law enforcement softball circuit. He is currently going to be more than likely playing in the outfield for the Missouri Lawmen. And in his first year in law enforcement softball, he played with the Oklahoma Outlaws. One of the things I want to start with, Chris, is were you born in Oklahoma then?
Yeah, I was actually born and raised in Norman, Oklahoma.
The home of the University of Oklahoma. You played some Little League ball though, right? Played Little League ball and then ultimately ended up playing high school ball?
I've played just about every sport that you can think of growing up, but baseball was always my passion.
Outside of baseball, what were your interests? I mean, what were you considering playing? Because obviously you excelled at baseball, but what other sports were you into?
I did track, I played golf, basketball, football, raced motorcycles, did BMX.
I used to be into BMX also and doing all the little tricks and everything else that came with it. Ultimately, you found baseball, you went with it. Now, before we get into that, you were married? Is that correct?
I am happily married for 10 years. Somehow tricked her into saying yes. So it worked. It's been working out.
Yeah, man. And it's Ashley. Am I correct?
That's correct.
Ashley often comments on our podcast. So we're really happy that Ashley supports us like that. Thank you so much for that. There are other members of your family that help to support a police softball. So we've got your kids, correct? So your kid, you have a little boy. He's 10 years. Or no, I'm sorry, 18 months, correct?
18 months, yes. A year and a half.
That's Red.
That's Red.
So we got Red. And then tell us about your little girl, because she has a way that she has helped us in police softball with entertainment.
Last year, it was my first year doing the police softball circuit. And she was the little girl, for those of you that, went to Big Al's last year and participated or watched the karaoke contest. She was a little 4-year-old then that sang Barbie Girl.
Yeah.
Which I don't necessarily approve of all the lyrics in it, but she loves that song.
If you missed it, we got a little something special for you right here.
I'm the Barbie girl in the Barbie world. I'm the laughest. It's fantastic. She can punch my hair. I just get anywhere. Imagination, that's your creation. Barbie, go party. Barbie girl in the Barbie world. I'm the laughest. It's fantastic. You can brush my hair.
There was something special about that. I know that when Palin received her trophy, Palin's very proud of that, huh?
Anytime we have anybody over at the house, she brings them to her bedroom and says, look at this. This is my trophy. I got it because I won a singing contest. Like, she's an American Idol star. That's her centerpiece in her bedroom that she just loves to show off.
What a neat thing, Deanna. I know she's in the background, but what a neat thing that we went and picked out that trophy and that it's sitting in Palin's room and that she's so proud of it. What an awesome thing. So we talked about you in high school. You played high school ball.
I spent a lot of my time doing travel ball. Luckily, I was fortunate enough to have parents that supported that. Travel ball is not a cheap thing to do. Got to go around all over the United States and play and face pitchers like Garrett Cole throwing 100 miles per hour in high school.
That's neat, man, to be able to face those kind of guys, in that travel ball league. From there, you ended up getting that recognition and end up going to the University of Oklahoma.
Started playing there in 2009. I played there for 2009, 2010, 2011 season. We were fortunate enough in 2010 to make it to the College World Series. We didn't do as good as we wanted to, but it was a lot of fun. We were there the last year of Rosenblatt. It was definitely a special moment.
The excitement, the electricity of walking into that stadium where you know all the history of all the players and all the games that have been played there, man. It's got to be an amazing feeling to be able to have that type of experience to go there. I've always loved the patch when it comes to like the World Series and things of that. Got something pretty cool that you showed me before, man. Would you share that with us? Check this out. I think this is so cool.
It's heavy.
Dude, look at that, man. Yeah, move it over. Yeah, there you go. Look at that, dude. How cool is that? Is that one that you bought just to frame?
No, that was my actual jersey that
How
we
cool is
that I
that?
wore during the College World Series.
Yeah.
That was OU's gift to us.
How cool is that? I myself from San Antonio, so we have a strong Longhorn base here. So we start talking about, you know, the rivalries in there. But I was just curious because when you think about Oklahoma, there's Sooners, right? And I'm curious, like what is a Sooner?
So it all goes back to the Oklahoma land run. You had Sooners. They're cheaters. That's what they are. They stole land, basically, is what it is.
Yeah.
Before the land run actually started, the Sooners were the ones that snuck out before it started to stake their land and claim the best land that they could. So if somebody says Sooners are cheaters, then they kind of are.
After playing college ball, you were able to then move on to another level. You ended up being able to get drafted. Tell us about that.
2011 late round draft pick by the Arizona Diamondbacks. Played 3 years with them, got up to high A, and then was released. I played a couple years of independent ball after that, and then that's whenever I decided to go into law enforcement.
Let's not move on from being drafted so quickly. My gosh, from all little leaguers, from T-ball on, I will just say that it's so special when you talk to somebody who reached that level of any professional arena. I mean, be able to reach college number one, that's already super special. But then to be able to actually make it onto a pro team is just unbelievable. What was your experience like having the opportunity to talk to all these other people who shared that same passion and put the same kind of work in that you did? What were some of the feelings that you got? And ultimately, what were some of the neatest takeaways?
I got to meet a bunch of really cool people during that experience. You got time for me to tell a funny story real quick?
Heck yeah, man. Heck yeah.
So one year at spring training, we were the locker rooms were set up with, you had a locker room on one side and then a bathroom in the middle and then a locker room on the other side. Well, Team USA was there and they were using our training facility for, you know, all their practices and everything. And I roll in at 6 o'clock in the morning. I wander into the bathroom. The left urinal's taken, the right urinal's taken. So I have to be that guy and take the middle. So I go there and we're standing there and I look over to my left and it was Joe Torre.
Yeah.
I looked to my right and it was Mark Teixeira. And I go, hey guys, how's it hanging? They just went, good. Yeah, whatever. Get out of here, you little nobody. No. They were nice. Everybody there was nice. Yeah. Like we said in the pre-show here, being in athletics draws you to more of a team environment.
Yep.
Which I think is what drew me to want to be in law enforcement.
That's the thing that I love, is being able to have that camaraderie, to be able to share in that fellowship, especially with what it is that we do, obviously, you know, with our jobs. Going to go on to how you ended up coming into law enforcement softball. So somebody reaches out to you and says, hey man, you want to play some law enforcement softball? Who was that?
Get a text message asking if I want to play softball. It was Justin Beal. Never met the guy. Never met him before in my life. And he got my number from somebody because he was looking to put together, you know, the Oklahoma Outlaws last year. And he explained the circuit to me and how much, you know, fun it is. At that point, I said, yes, you know, give it a shot. And after our first tournament, I was pretty hooked.
And it's one of those things I'm sure you can understand where when I try to talk to people about coming out to watch some of our tournaments, I get that look and I quickly follow it up with, I know exactly what you're thinking. You're thinking church league, just, you know, having beers and just, not that we don't have beers, but that having beers and just hanging out, you know. But when they show up, they're like, dude, I had no idea it was this level of player. And one thing that's always surprised me is how many players we have on our circuit that have played some sort of collegiate ball, minor league, and the pros. I mean, it always blows me away. Did you find that similar experience after Justin asked you to come out? Were you kind of surprised when you showed up and saw the competition?
Oh, definitely. Not knowing anything about the circuit or anything, I was thinking the exact same thing. Hey, this is going to be a bunch of guys that want to go out and just goof off. Goofing off is fun occasionally, but I'm a little bit too competitive for that. I like to have a good time, but being competitive is also something that is fun. The thing I like about the police softball circuit is you can talk a little bit of trash to people, and it's not like playing in a league where everybody wants to either fight or get all crazy. There's an understanding where, you trash talk a little bit, you can have some fun.
And you have certain personalities on the circuit that really get into it, but we are able to chalk it up to just competitiveness. But I think that's that common thing that we have, is that respect for each other, because we do know that when we leave there, we go back to our stressful and dangerous jobs. We all recognize that we're all there to use this as a form of therapy.
I really thank Justin for, giving me the opportunity last year. And I appreciate Joe for letting Justin drag me along. I'm just really looking forward to getting out there playing, getting to meet everybody again, and hopefully remember more names this year.
Yeah.
I'm terrible at it.
Yeah, I am too.
we can meet each other, and then 30 minutes later, I'll be like,
trust me, I know. I know you're going to have a great time on Joe's team. I hadn't had a chance to hang out with the Oklahoma Outlaws, but I have definitely with Joe's team, the Missouri Lawmen. That's a great group of guys. You're going to have a lot of fun. Take some money, because at some point you might end up in the casino. It's just a wild guess, but
wild guess.
Joe's been kicked out of some of the best casinos there are over there in St. Louis. So they know him, and they still let him back in, because I've been with him and then got kicked out with him.
Is he on a first name basis?
Yeah. But you also enjoy going to play golf with Joe. It won't be that difficult. We'll show a quick clip of his game. What was one movie that made you cry?
Hardball. Have you ever seen it?
No. What's Hardball about?
So it's actually, it's not a very good movie, but when I was younger, it's actually Keanu Reeves is a coach of a little league baseball team.
Yeah.
And there's this little kid named G Baby that gets shot in a drive-by. Hit me in the feels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy smokes. Yeah. I've never heard of that. But I was like, okay, got Chris. Let's see, high school ball, play travel ball, college ball. Let's see, minor league ball. What's your favorite movie? Hardball. Like, oh yeah, makes sense.
I could have gone the easy route and said something like Lion King.
Which I did try it.
Yeah, Fossadines always get you.
Yeah. See, what's the next tournament you're gonna be playing in?
We're actually it's not going to be all of the Missouri Lawmen. I think it'll be a few of us, but we're playing in a all forces tournament.
Okay, that's the one there in Oklahoma, right?
Yeah, this weekend, and then I think 2 weeks later we'll be in West Palm Beach.
Okay, all right, cool, man.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah, man. Well, hey, Chris, I truly appreciate you joining us, man. Thank you again, and look forward to seeing you here at the next tournament.
All right, thank you for having me on.
All right, brother. Well, I will just say this. Number one, I want to be able to point out that there's a 30-minute conversation between myself and Chris, and it was, chopped down to 10, 12 minutes for the show. But the guy that I really enjoyed was that he does a lot of charitable gives with his church. So he's very in tune with his church and his charitable gives, and you couldn't see that with what we had to edit down for the tournament. But I give a big shout out to Chris for that. You're getting a great player, Joe. I know he's going to be a better golfer than you based off the video that we just showed, and it just is what it is. I mean, all you really care about is your golf tournament and raising funds. It's not necessarily your game, and so that's why we showed that video. And then on top of that, let me ask you this.
The baby laughing was a nice touch. I like that.
What's that?
The baby laughing was a nice touch. I like that.
Yeah, well, credit Deanna for that. That was
Very nice,
totally
Deanna.
her. What I will say, though, is that, I do realize that, he's new to your team. Did you know that much about him before the podcast?
Like, I just met him last year. I heard about him a couple of years ago. I actually tried to get him on the team back a couple of years ago before the Oklahoma guys split off and started the Outlaws last year. Beal was able to get him on the team last year, and every tournament they played in, my team was in. So I was able to get a good, look at everybody there. I got to meet everybody on the team. We hung out, at several tournaments. So I got to know him, got to know a lot of the Oklahoma guys that way. And, one thing I noticed with Chris is his defense. He's super smooth in the outfield. He's fast. He covers a lot of ground. He covers it quick. And the guy, he's dedicated to becoming better. I mean, the guy, you could see it in him. One thing he mentioned on there, he's competitive. That guy, just from what I've seen and heard about him, like I said, it's only been about a year since I've known him, but the little I've heard and seen about him, the guy he's out there, he's taking BP, he's trying to improve at the plate, and he's doing the right things, and he's moving. And from the beginning of the year, the first tournament I saw him playing last year in Tulsa to the last tournament in Vegas, it was a huge change, and you could see he put in the time, put in the effort, and his defense. I mean, the guy, he was an outfielder, his whole life. He's through high school, through college, into the pros, and it shows just by the way he reacts to the ball and everything else.
Well, I think it's really cool though that ultimately through this podcast, which is, I had a question because we're going to highlight Michael J. Fall next week, our next episode with the player spotlight with Brandon West and Devin Luckett. Now that I said Devin Duckett before, and then
you said TJ Duckett.
You very
TJ Duckett
corrected me on that, and so I understand now. But in result is that it's cool that we're able to shed light on players on the circuit, where you'll see people and then you're like, you can associate, who they are when you see them in Vegas. And that's the ultimate goal of this podcast, bring together the camaraderie and ultimately the fellowship that we're there for, that therapy that we're there for. So I think that's really cool. And it was great to be able to highlight that guy. It was a joy to talk to him. And I think it was just really cool. So, yeah. All right. So we got Eddie Castro, Brandon West. Don't mind me, still holding on to my Tim Tebow days. Yeah. Well, hey, so what do you think, Joe? I think great show.
Yeah.
A lot of content. And I'm looking forward to the next one because I'm going to be somewhere playing in a softball tournament, but I'm going to get there early to be able to, do the show. But anyway, I think it's a really cool show. I'm excited to be able to highlight your tournament, our tournament, and to be able to recap those tournaments before. So thank you very much for joining me again, man. I really appreciate it.
Yep. Good deal.
Cool. All right, man. So, hey, for Joe, for myself, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you guys. And don't forget that we got your 6.